Hi everyone, this is my pool plan video for DFFOO global version of the game for the month of March 2021, and it covers the banners featuring Onion Knight as the featured character and having his burst weapon. As always, a few disclaimers before going into the actual video. The pool plan is very personalized based on my own progress in the game, as well as my current roster and current resources in gems and tickets. They may or may not be ideal for you, so I would, as always, highly recommend that you also do your own research to see whether or not the pools will fit your own needs. There are many factors that should be considered when deciding to pool, and these can include your current resources, your current roster, and including the gaps that you need to fill, which content that you actually need to clear, and of course, who your favorite characters are. My pool plan tends to be heavily influenced by getting enough synergy characters to clear Chaos Challenge quests, and for this reason, I always favor the featured burst character because that character will be synergy across multiple events. So I start off with the first two banners, which is recently released with Act 3 Chapter 1, and as always there are two banners on this event. First banner features Onion Knight, Snow and Kader, and the second banner features Gal, Saz, and Elise. Onion Knight LD weapon is also newly released on his banner, and if you miss Gal's LD weapon, you can get it on the banner featuring Gal. And as usual, Onion Knight's burst weapon is featured across all banners. I already have Gal's LD weapon, so I won't need to pull on the second banner. And my plan on this event is to throw tickets to score Onion Knight's LD. I will not chase after his burst weapon, and if you've seen any of my previous pool plan videos, I never chase after a burst weapon, and I only treat burst weapons as bonus, and all the burst weapons that I've gotten, it was while pulling for a featured character's LD weapon. Overall, I think the best prizes certainly would be Onion Knight on this banner, but if you don't have Gal yet, I really feel that Gal has a lot to offer as well in the current meta. For one thing, he will help a lot in the boss rush event, which is still live at the time of making of this video, and will probably be useful in future boss rushes as well, considering that he can provide often damage with his counters, and he can provide Earth Enchant as well. So you can consider going for Gal LD as well. But like I said, I will only be chasing Onion Knight's LD weapon because I already have Gal fully built up. Coming to the next banner, it would be Arciala's Lost Chapter, and it features the release of Arciala's LD weapon. Now, Arciala herself isn't a bad unit. In fact, at the time of her release, some months back, she was actually top tier in terms of support, and that's because she has almost everything included in her kit. So she can heal, she can dispel enemy buffs, she can provide HP attack disable to disable bosses' attacks, which is actually quite useful overall back in the meta. In the current stage of the game though, there are already many other supports who can do what she can. So especially given the last month where it was very heavy in support characters, and if you've been pulling on recent banners, you probably already have other support units such as Ramza, Kral, Hope, and her specialty of dispelling buffs isn't going to be anything new. There are already now other characters who can also dispel buffs. So for this reason, I'm not very keen on pulling for Arciela. Her LD is actually quite decent. Her LD, for one thing, replenishes her S2, which is the skill that gives you HP attack disable, and her LD also inflicts a frame debuff on the opponent, which prevents brave gain as well as increases HP damage taken by the caster by 20%. So it's overall, I think, quite decent, and Arciela is still quite a solid support unit. The only reason why I'm skipping is the fact that you can only fit 3 characters in your party, and most of the time I can very easily fit in one of the many other support characters we recently pulled for, and for that reason I don't see a big need for me to pull for Arciela at this stage of the game. And also it would be good to skip a banner to save some resources given the very heavy month before, and the very heavy month coming up with the release of Paladin Cecil's LD and burst weapons. For the challenge quest, I plan to use Onion Knight and Rinoa, and probably you just use Arciela without her LD weapon. I have her at 3-3 realization. The third and final banner that I will cover, or I rather say event that I will cover, will be Theodore's release event, which is the last banner featuring Onion Knight's burst weapon. Now Theodore also is actually quite a good unit, but I plan to skip him pretty much for the same reasons why I'm skipping Arciela. For one thing, one of Theodore's benefits is that he can cleanse debuffs on your party, so in other words an Asuna-like effect on his LD, and his LD provides very strong healing and battery to the party as well. However, at this stage of the game, we already have Baltier and Penelo who can cleanse debuffs, and I have both of them fully built up, so I'm not in any urgent need of a party character who can offer Asuna. And there are already many options, including calls that can provide healing to the party. So for this reason, I really don't see a big need for me pulling Theodore as well. It's not to say that he's a bad unit, he is in fact quite solid. But the other reason why I'm most likely skipping Theodore is the fact that you need to pull all his weapons to fully build him, given that he's a new character. So the amount of resources that I'm likely to spend if I want to fully build Theodore would be higher, considering that I need to pull for his 15 CP, 35 CP, EX as well as LD. And I think it's not really worth the return of investment. I rather just use another healer or another party cleanser if the fight calls for it. Again here, I can use Onion Knight Arciela just with her EX, and either Sid or Elfinot for the Chaos Challenge, so I'm not really too fast. I may go back to pull on Arciela if for some reason I struggle on either Arciela's Lost Chapter or Theodore's event on their challenge quests, but I really don't think that will happen given the history of Chaos Challenge quests being only Chaos difficulty. So that's it for this video. In summary, for the first half of March 2021, I plan to use tickets for Onion Knight's LD. I plan to skip Arciela's LD and skip Theodore. In fact, by the time I made this video, Onion Knight's banners have already debuted, and I've already gone and spent some tickets and got his LD. I didn't get his burst weapon, and looking at it now, if I skip Arciela and Theodore, it means that I will not get Onion Knight's burst. But to me, I can really live with that. I'm not very fast on Onion Knight, and I'd rather save all my resources for Paladin Cecile coming up on the next arc. In terms of MLB Priority, so this is what I would recommend if you are very limited on resources. Onion Knight and Gao would be great pickups in terms of DPS and some utility in terms of turn manipulation for Onion Knight and healing encounter for Gao. If you are pretty new or you skipped the support characters in Ultimasia's banners, then I think Arciela is actually quite a decent pickup. She provides great utility in support. She has all the usual support auras as well, and she provides healing, party cleansing, and a great new debuff with her LD. Definitely worthy of consideration if you feel you need a support character in your roster. And I rank Theodore last. I really think actually Theodore will probably be on the same level as Arciela here, but the reason why I rank him lower is only because as a new character you really need to chase more weapons than Arciela. But again, if you are actually new to the game, then that means you also would be missing Arciela's weapons. In that case, I think you can go for either character. Arciela is more support oriented, whereas Theodore is more offense oriented. And really, the choice I think would really be dependent on what role you need to fill in your current roster. So that's it for this video. Hope it's been somewhat informative. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and subscribe button. Till then, I'll see you in the next pool video. Bye bye.